In South Africa, our mother-in-laws take us as one. The same love they share with their kids, that's the same love they give to us. They don't ever hide things from us. The only thing is that they won't allow you to have a decision of your own. They pamper us thinking that we are still in the stomach like a baby. And when we give birth, they take decisions for us. Hi guys, Lerato here. Welcome back to another episode of the best cook in the world. As a good South African cook, remember in this page, we create our own recipe. So today's recipe is Okpa and Chips. First of all, I started by washing my chips. After which, I went in with my spice. This recipe remains the best. Then you go in with a warm water and salt. After which you leave it for like 5 minutes. When you come back, you wash it so that all the spice can go inside the chips. I have said this thing before and I'm saying it again. This is exactly the recipe that McDonald's use in their chips. When you're eating a McDonald's chips, you notice that there's spice in it, but there's no spice on top of it. They incorporate everything before they start frying. No this and no peace. Learn this recipe and take me later. My neighbor was in my house and I told him that this chip remains the best. I asked him if he wants some. She said no, that she doesn't want to waste the chips. I feel like she's not hungry though. Alright, I'm already cooking this up because there was no time. Oh my goodness, I don't know how my husband bought this red oil. I opened the red oil, it has some lumps as if they whiskey with Gary. It was as if I was watching a movie. I said, okay, let me try. As I was adding the red oil, it's not even showing that I'm adding red oil. It's as if I'm adding groundnut oil in my okpa. And that was how I ended up adding almost half of that. Right now, my okpa is in trouble. The oil automatically spoiled my okpa. Oh my god. Okay, back to this. I don't know the failure that followed me in today's cooking. Who sent me to Nanga and add another oil after the chips is already frying? It's a very bad cooking. Learn this and no peace. When you're frying your chips, number one is that you need to allow the oil to be very, very hot. Secondly, once you start frying the chips, make sure you don't add extra things to the chips. Just like the way I started adding extra oil is because I noticed that the chips was too much and then the oil was no longer enough to carry it and make it crispy the way I want. Over to this okpa. I waited for how many minutes and the okpa was not ready. I brought out one to test it. Oh my goodness, scatter everywhere tonight. Some part of the okpa was strong and some parts were soft, but it has a very nice taste. Look at what I cooked. But first of all, I dish for my husband. Remember the recipe is chips and okpa, but the both they refuse to come together. But the problem in this okpa is number one, my red oil, and number two, after tying the whole okpa, I'm supposed to be cooking it right away, but I forgot myself. So leaving it for that long, before I start cooking it, I'm supposed to shake each and every one of them before I start cooking. And this mistake made my okpa to become biology and chemistry. Okay, at least we can manage the okpa. What about the chips? This is where I brought out my skill of creativity. Lerato, the creative girl. Oh yeah, let's recreate the chips. Here in South Africa, we don't waste food. The chips was not also not done. Like so many things were wrong with these chips. The moment I finished dishing food for my husband, I started recreating the chips. So I transferred all the chips in a... While the chips were still in that sieve, I put everything in a hot water so that all the excess oil can leave the chips. I made sure I wash it very well. I even squeeze it with my hand so that all the excess oil can leave. Right now, I've delivered that cheese from the sweet of too much oil. What a deliverance. After taking the excess oil, washing it very well, I put it in my air fryer, sprinkled some little bit of spice, and then air fried it. What a creativity. Lerato, the creative girl. So this is the outcome of the whole chips. I tested it and it was mouth watering. Then I added my tomato paste. This came out very, very delicious, and that's what I had this night. See you in my next video. I love you. Don't forget to give me a follow. Bye.